Hello and welcome to our discussion for today. This is our first kind of uh, talking
Podcast.
podcast format. Yeah. My name is George Molina. I'm the captain of the EP Zombie Honey Badger team. Here joined by my co-captain Edgar del Rivero
Yeah.
and Guillermo Flores, which is one of our members on our team.
Hello,
So
hello.
So today we were gonna be going over the reveal of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies. There's a lot to talk about. We'll go over just
Yes.
some of the things we saw, some kind of gameplay stuff that we liked, maybe didn't like, and then some theories that we might have for story implications. So let's begin.
Yep. Let's dive into it.
Sure.
Overall, what do you guys think?
All right. So I'm gonna go first. I thought it was kind of going back to where it succeeded in terms of bringing back things that are fan favorites, such as perks, weapons. But it did seem kind of interesting how they're implementing more aspects of multiplayer into it. What do you guys think about that?
Um, So depends on what you mean by multiplayer. So there's things I do like. So in the trailer, and we're gonna be looping the trailer as we go through this kind of podcast style discussion.
Yes.
But in the trailer, you see that we're kind of playing as operators
Mm-hmm.
from like multiplayer and Warzone. Now, from the way I interpreted it in the game, it was just that at least for the first map, we're gonna be just troops being sent in to deal with whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
By like Weaver, which we've seen before in the Call of Duty Black Ops campaign, and this new character called Sam, right?
Yeah.
So on that hand, like a part of me was like disappointed because like you come off of like having these characters that you know
Yeah.
and love and you have a connection to kind of being
Like generic soldiers.
generic soldiers, but at the same time, I did hear this cool theory that might be that maybe the first map could be kind of with the operators, like we're sending in troops, and then after that, story wise, it kind of allows our new playable characters to be introduced, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm all for, because if you think about it, like Shadows of Evil, it was cool. The
Yeah.
character development was cool, and like it was a cool story. But then you never saw those characters again. So then, like, yeah, it helped with the atmosphere, but that was pretty much it. And
Yeah.
with the atmosphere they're building here with like troops and everything, I think it works out. Now, real quick, and then Memo, you can kind of throw throw in your part. What I love with the incorporation of multiplayer is the gun ranking system.
Yeah.
So, in case you guys didn't know, the gun ranking system is going to now be across all the modes in Call of Duty. Meaning,
Yeah.
if you upgrade a gun in multiplayer with all the attachments and everything, it'll already be upgraded in zombies and vice versa. So, me
Yeah.
being a very heavy zombie player, I'm gonna be able to upgrade my guns. So maybe when I hop on with friends that only really like multiplayer, I won't feel so
Yeah.
downgraded.
Left out.
Yeah, so that's really cool. So I'm sorry I went on for a little bit. Memo, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so in regards to a lot of the stuff you guys are talking about, honestly, I think it's pretty refreshing all the takes they're coming out with. Like, it's new ideas, and honestly, that's probably something that was really needed towards the community in order to allow the community to expand. Because honestly, in a lot of aspects, it feels similar to the Destiny community in the way that it was focused towards very dedicated players.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like this is a bit more refreshing. It allows you to start hanging out with some of your friends that might not have been that into zombies.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like it can go in a really positive direction.
I feel like it does make it easier to kind of play with those friends that didn't necessarily like zombies before, but you can kind of bring them in because hey, they got all these different things they unlocked. They got all these new camos and skins that they can even earn from the battle pass, and it transfers through all of game modes.
Yeah. Towards that, yeah, I completely agree. My only problem is I don't want them to fail like the way they did on Destiny 2,
Yeah,
where they just neglected the community, the hardcore community, for a big part of that game, and
Yeah.
that is a possibility that can happen here.
yeah,
But what it looks like, I feel like it might not be it, because since they have such dedicated staff to just the core of the game,
yeah.
maybe history will not repeat itself towards an Activision case.
Yeah, I'm really worried about that spawn system, being able to spawn in with a really overpowered weapon, some might say, compared to just the normal standard pistol that was the older Call of Duty Zombies.
You see, I think that that's something that actually excites me because of the fact that yes, it might be overpowered, but I feel like it increases the difficulty. I feel like they're gonna find a way to balance it. Or at
Yeah,
least I hope so.
maybe it'll make the rounds less slow, like the first couple rounds less slow, because it's always like people just start off kind of slow, start building up points. I think if you already have a weapon, they can start introducing like the main action that you see in later rounds at an early part
Mm-hmm.
of the game.
I think the real question is: are we finally gonna be able to play the song Easter eggs multiple times on the maps? Personally, I really wish they introduced that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know. So the main thing, like multiplayer wise, that I had a problem with. Oh, not so much I have a problem with it, because I'm hoping they implement it in a cool way.
Yeah.
Is score streaks. I don't know how I feel when I saw that chopper gunner like go
Oh
up
yeah.
and kill zombies. Like, I know what they were going for. Like, oh, look at this cool moment, the helicopter's killing zombies. But for me, it's like, oh, and maybe it's gonna be harder. I do want to later on in our talks kind of go over that new system of not having to die to
Mhm.
end the round, like end the game.
Yeah.
Uh, but we'll get into it. So, what do you guys think of the score streaks? Because I know that's probably the most controversial thing right now within the community.
You know, the score streaks they're kind of interesting because in previous maps you would really expect the crew to just be the crew. You wouldn't expect any outside forces helping in terms of other people, other soldiers. You know, you usually expect like magic or something related to the zombie experiments to help you out, but you never expected like way more different people like available at your disposal, like just kind of like how you do in multiplayer. I feel
Yeah.
like it kind of like brings you away from the zombies, and it kind of like connects it more with multiplayer. And to me, that's a brave move by Treyarch. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Really.
A part of me feels like they're using this first one as a guinea pig, in the sense of I feel like it's not too hard for them to implement, like take that out if it's a big issue with the community, and like, but I know Treyarch isn't afraid to kind of
Yeah.
go for it. So, Memo, what do you think about the score streaks?
Again, I think it's a very interesting dynamic they're hoping to introduce here. Um, Honestly, it's something that we really have to experience in order to really give our opinions. But on first ideas, I feel like it can work out. I'm very optimistic about this, so I'm trying not to like bring it that game down. Even though there's a lot of things that I am not 100% sure where exactly they're heading to.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of beauty of Treyarch, is that, and the reason why they've been successful in the past. And sometimes it's backfired on them, like with Black Ops 4, but they're not afraid to kind of go for it and do these different strategies. So I think at the end it'll work good. Now, Edgar, you did bring up the point about like spawning in with like your layout, right?
Yeah.
Um, that one, I'm like you said, I'm just hoping that it's kind of just becomes stronger in the beginning, so you don't have such slow rounds in the beginning.
Yeah.
The only question I had while I was watching the trailer and everything and knowing that was like, you see these wall guns, and I guess like for wall guns, you'll have like a secondary pistol if you run out of ammo. But I feel like what really made the wall guns good was that you had a pistol and like you could rely on those when you
Yeah.
didn't have enough for the box or the box wasn't reliable. It was like a strategy for you.
Yeah.
So you could either, risk it for a little bit less, hit the box, get a gun that maybe you can't get ammo from the wall, or
Yeah.
you could play it safe and get something from maybe not as good weapon from the wall. And I don't know how that balance is gonna be in like if we have our own layouts,
hmm I mean, I would expect they would try to make people want to switch from those loadouts in some way. What do you think they would do?
I think it's just gonna be a situation where you have a pistol and your layout. Like you're not allowed to have like two
Yeah.
assault rifles, let's say.
Uh-huh.
And so that's kind of what that other slot is for you to
Yeah.
kind of have what you want and
hmm
then what's available in the map.
Yeah.
And it might be that maybe they'll add guns that you can't put in your class, let's say.
Yeah. They're
Um,
locked or something.
yeah, like those weapons you can't put on there, but they're available in the map. So like those are cooler. So then you just switch them out anyways.
Yeah. That could work.
Uh,
I don't know. Maybe they will give us actually an incentive towards actually getting the box. Maybe they're actually planning to introduce a lot more of wonder weapon type of things.
hmm
I feel like that might be something that might be heading towards. Um,
Yeah,
I
because if people are buying like, or if people are bringing in loadouts, like, are they gonna add wall buys now? Like, what's the point of wall buys now? If that's the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
were we able to see any wall buys on the trailer?
Yeah.
I wasn't looking out for that.
I did
Yeah.
not spot any at all.
There were the only thing that was kind of not concerning, but like curious if that was like on purpose or maybe it was just a lighting thing. Was there were different wall buys, but
hmm
some of them had different colors around them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't know if that's maybe you can upgrade those guns because one thing that they say is something like every gun has the possibility of being upgraded to become a top tier weapon.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that means just pack a punch because a lot of people were pointing out that they don't see double tap in the map.
Uh-huh.
So what I'm thinking is that maybe what Craig Houston, which is the new director of kind of zombies, he's been the creative director for a while now for the
Yeah.
story. Um, he had said that every gun has that potential to be upgraded. And I don't, and it sounded like it was separate from the mystery, not mystery box, from the pack a punch.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a situation where you're able to upgrade your gun maybe through the wall buys or like maybe it's some aspect. Maybe the
Yeah.
wall buys aren't guns, but they're like modifiers to your weapon or
Yeah,
something
like
along those
something,
lines.
maybe an elemental upgrade or something.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Because they did put a lot of focus on that perk, the new perk, Elemental Bust or something. Then
Yeah. Um,
I think that was very interesting
I
because
think so
that's the
too.
perk that we see the most, even on top of Jug or Quick Revive, which are like some of the most popular ones when you're playing with friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the confirmed perks that are coming back are Jug, Quick Revive, Speed Cola, and Deadshot Daiquiri.
So I was just reading some article, and apparently every weapon's gonna have a rarity associated. So the higher the rarity, the greater the damage output for the weapon. So maybe that will be a reason for somebody to trade out their loadout because the wall
Maybe.
buys or the box weapons might have a higher rarity, therefore more damage than the regular ones. The regular ones can just be common weapons that you spawn in with, and then the higher the rarity, the more damage you get. Even if it's the same weapon, a different rare variant would probably make it a better gun.
I wonder how that's gonna work with like Pack a Punch,
Yeah.
Because like now, like even now with like Black Ops 3 and 4, like you can have guns that are good and maybe some are better than others pack a punched. but it's still like on equal grounds, right? Like there's just some guns that are better pack a punch than others.
Yeah.
I wonder how that's gonna affect because of rarity, right? Are like super rare ones not gonna be buffed up that much? Are they gonna be just as buff up? You know. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that's gonna go. Now, I do want to discuss the whole situation with the not needing to die to end the game.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm just gonna go over it really quickly and then we'll discuss. So a big thing that people complained, and I think was kind of a big thing as well for Black Ops 4 Zombies, was that it wasn't really catered to the casual player, right? Someone who's just gonna hop on, kill some zombies with friends, and then get off, right? It was more
Yeah.
geared towards high rounds and Easter eggs. Now, what they had mentioned was this new system where instead of playing until a certain round and saying, you know what, I'm gonna just allow myself to die, or everyone hold out a grenade, let's take ourselves out. There's now going to be an option for you to have a challenge where if you choose to stay an extra round, and I believe it's 1 round. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
It's 3 rounds. You have
3
to
rounds.
play an extra 3 rounds with extra mobs.
Yeah, so it's 3 rounds, and then the amount of zombie and the intensity of the game increases by a lot. I kind of like that because it's like for the people who kind of play zombies and they're like, okay, I'm kind of bored now. I kind of want to get off. They kind of give themselves 3 more rounds of just intensity,
Yeah.
and there it is.
Yeah, and they'll probably give you more XP and rewards for extracting.
Yeah, like, personally, especially when you're doing like high round stuff, sometimes you get tired or you gotta go out of nowhere, and just having the possibility of just not dying, which like really takes away a lot of that satisfaction of going really high rounds.
Yeah.
To be able to actually end it at a spot feels like you're finally getting rid of that feeling of kind of disappointment of having to die.
Yeah, because you feel like you didn't gain anything from it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think a big thing they were saying is that you were going to get benefits from that. So
Yeah.
you would get rewarded for sticking those extra 3 rounds out. So I think that's a really cool idea. I know some people were like, I don't know, because what if you're doing an Easter egg? But like, I don't think that's geared for Easter egg people.
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's focused more towards high round people who are just playing.
High round, or even like it's just, and I think that's something that Edgar had mentioned. It's just another way to play the game.
Yeah.
I can say, hey guys, let's get on, let's play. And instead of having to be like, oh, what are we gonna do? High rounds, or let's do an Easter egg. You can just play zombies and just talk and hang out. And then when you're done, it doesn't feel like, oh, we wasted our time. Let's just end it. It's like, all right, now let's get this challenge at the end and get some rewards.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a really cool
Yeah, I agree
thing
with
that they
that.
were implementing.
Okay. Since we're talking about like gameplay stuff, what do you guys think about that quote in the middle of the reveal that some stuff doesn't want to stay dead? What do you think that they're trying to tell us in regards to zombies?
So I think, and I think, at least personally, I have my thoughts about that, but I think it's more storyline than it is gameplay. Because Craig Hewson, when he said that quote, said, we ended an old storyline, but you're gonna see that some stuff isn't gonna want to stay buried and dead or something like that. So
Yeah.
I think that it's more of that. So if you guys want, we can kind of go into the story implications.
Yeah, so like that's my question. What do you mean that it's gonna? What part of the story do you think exactly it is referring to in regards to that?
So the biggest theory right now, so it's first of all, it's confirmed we're in Ether. So for those of you who don't know how the story ended in Black Ops 4, our 4 main characters, basically, 8 characters. Well, yeah. So the characters, let's just say all of them, really, because in a way, like some of them were kind of scammed. They were. The end of it was they risked their lives. They took themselves out to close the multiverse, right? So there weren't multiple dimensions anymore. They closed all of the universes into one, where there were to be no more zombies, right? And it's confirmed that we're in that universe. We're still in Ether. This is the same universe. But
Yeah.
there's no more multiverse. Our characters are gone as far as we know. Now, with that said, there's a new character that's been introduced called Sam, right? Her name's Samantha. She's German, with a Russian friend, and she dials a number when she calls Weaver. And if you pay real close attention, you'll see that the keys that she types in spell out the word Maxis. The leading theory is that this is Samantha grown up, because another quote that she says is, "It's happening again." So
Yeah.
a big theory that's going around the zombie community is that we're dealing with the dark ether now, because when all the multiverses closed, it basically got all sent to the dark ether, which is why everything goes black.
Mhm.
So the theory is Samantha, Edward got out, right? No more zombies. And then some people started tinkering with some other stuff. These people that are Omega, the Omega group, and they started it up again. So Ether's back with Samantha Maxis.
Yep, that's something that will probably be explore on the first map. Probably something that we're gonna see a lot more as the closer we get to the date and the time that we actually get to experience the game itself.
Yeah.
Now, people we have been like throwing around theories and stuff, because if you noticed, premise characters are now in Warzone, right? You can play as, as certain characters in Warzone. They were in Call of Duty Mobile.
Yeah.
You could get like special stuff for your characters in Warzone. But the voice actor for Richtofen made it like a TikTok that was like, in his voice said like, "Oh no, Richtofen's not going to be in the next Call of Duty," right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that's true. A part of me thinks what's going to happen, and I could be completely wrong. I'm just kind of throwing this theory out there based off of, what I've seen. I think we're going to get some premise characters back, but I think Samantha is going to be our new playable character, because Treyarch has like this new setup of 3 male characters and 1 female.
Yeah.
Ever since Black Ops 3, and Premise was the only one that didn't follow that. So I think it's gonna be a thing where like we bring back some of the Premise characters and we fight along Samantha to fight off, whatever horde. Now I could be completely wrong, but I'm gonna kind of say that that's my prediction at this moment. That that this is that's what it's gonna be. But we know that we're dealing with the dark ether, because also if you go to the Treyarch website, they have blog posts and everything like that. And if you actually click on the game intel,
Mhm.
it says a briefing and it says objective news and it says Into the Dark Ether, a new zombie story. So we're
Yeah, that pretty
dealing
much
with
gives it away.
the dark ether, which is awesome, because that's like the most story-wise, it's the least explored thing in the zombie storyline, right? We've gone over ether, we've really gone down every rabbit hole, but the thing that's always kind of been there but kind of never been explored has been the dark ether.
It's pretty solid. It will be a logical step that we'll be taking.
Yeah, I think it's along the lines of something that's possible. Of
It is
course,
also
they
something that
could,
will have-
yeah, they could come up with something completely different that we won't even expect. Also,
Yeah, and a lot of people think that because when she kind of tells Weaver like, "Oh," when she was like, "Where'd you get this tape from? What happened? Like, who gave this to you?" He said, "Oh, a Russian friend." And then he makes an emphasis saying, "What? Germans have Russian friends?" And then she was like, "Well, I do, right?" So a lot of people are thinking that it's Nikolai. That Nikolai is the one that's actually able to give her this intel, which would be crazy, because then we're seeing our premise characters in not modern times, because it's no longer modern, but kind of more our world type view, right? It's no longer like World War II.
yeah.
So that's
And something
That's
interesting
crazy.
also to note from the trailer is the fact that they taken out the bear from the mystery box. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
yeah,
And
it's
they
the
introduced
rabbit.
a bunny, a purple bunny. Yeah.
It's a bunny. Yeah. So that's why I still think that it's a lot of bunny imagery, just like the teddy bear. So I'm thinking I'm like the fact that we're still in ether. I love it, right? So story wise, I'm excited, and I'm excited for gameplay and just all of that craziness that I'm ready to kind of get into.
Yeah.
Um, I guess the other thing that we kind of had to talk about is kind of the new Hellhounds. What you guys think? If you guys like it, we have new wonder weapons. We have these like cool elemental spray paint cans that I don't think we need to go too deep into because we don't know what they are yet. But
Yeah.
just what your thoughts are. If you guys liked it, if you're like, ugh,
I think it's showing kind of like a theme to this map, like in terms of like how the Hellhounds don't really look like Hellhounds anymore. They look like they're more. They look like they came out of a lab, like it. All these new elemental looking zombies, those yellow ones that split into two, they look like they've been lab made. They don't look necessarily like, how do I say this? They don't look supernatural in that way anymore. They just look like a lab experiment gone wrong.
yeah, and I'm excited to see what they do with this concept of like new story, yet old story. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I have the feeling that it's probably gonna be the hardest zombies we have experienced in a while, ever since
Uh,
like the two-hit system.
Yeah, I think this one because I feel like the Treyarch's had a lot of years to kind of now perfect their craft and like they've from what I've felt of this trailer and like what they've kind of shown, I think it's now this is the first Call of Duty that's really considered every type of player and like kind of made something special for them. So the casual player, just hanging out, playing your operators, just having fun, not caring about it. Your
Yeah.
high rounds people, you have that new system of getting out. Score streaks will probably be really helpful for that. So you'll be able to have that, and then for Easter egg people, the story looks like it's amazing. So I think it's kind of geared towards everyone. Um, I guess before we get on to like kind of like the last thing I kind of want to talk about, like me personally, and then if you guys have any other points that you guys kind of want to iterate, I guess my question is, what do you guys think of the mystery box? Because the mystery box looks weird, right? It
Yeah.
looks like a laundry machine inside of the mystery box, and something that's really interesting that Craig Houston said is now you're going to be able to access any like audio tapes at all times, meaning you're not gonna have to deal with like trying to listen to an audio tape while having zombies trying to kill you.
Yeah.
So what do you think of just those two things? And then I have one final thing that's not in the trailer, but I do want to kind of discuss.
In regards to the auto tapes, I feel like this is really going back to the fact that they have started to perfect their craft. They understand that a lot of people actually pay attention to a lot of these small things. So giving them that option allows the player to actually get immersed more into the story.
Yeah, definitely. And then one last thing before, what do you guys think of this idea? And it's not even an idea. I guess it's confirmed. I just saw it. No perk limits, boys. No
Really?
perk limits.
Really?
No more perk limits. We love to see it.
It's gonna be
Okay.
like custom zombies now?
It's gonna be like custom zombies now. I love it.
It sounds too nice of them to be doing this without actually giving us a challenge, especially for like hardcore players. I
No,
don't
no,
think-
yeah, go for it.
yeah, like I don't know, going back to like Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, you really felt really comfortable with your perks, your gobble gums, and your shield. Like you knew you were not gonna go down, and if you found yourself in a tough spot, you had like 3 ways to get out, right? Before
Yeah,
you
right.
actually went down for sure. But them doing this, them trying to make us feel comfortable, I feel like it's just like a trap. I feel like this is for the fact that they're willing to do this makes me think that the zombies are actually going to be very difficult, and I really hope they are. I really hope that they really like bring the try hard back to us in that sense.
Yeah, so I think, like you said, like they're balancing it out with how difficult it is, but also, and it scares a few people, and it scares me just a tiny bit. I don't know if you noticed in the trailer, but nowhere did you ever see a shield part or a shield on any of the characters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our backs are gonna be exposed again, boys. We're going to Black Ops 1 again.
Ooh, so a little thing that I want to like bring up is the fact that you see the ray gun.
Yeah.
The part that was fired from the ray gun. It
Mhm.
feels a lot more like Black Ops 2.
Yeah,
Ray
I
gun,
think
Black Ops 3.
I'll feel more like that once I actually use it because it looks like that, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, if they bump up the zombies' health and it's no longer as good, or
Yeah.
if it's too good and then they nerf it, I just don't want to get my hopes up about the ray gun. My heart's been broke one too many times.
But it's something to look forward to. A lot of stuff. So far, it's a positive outtake from what we've seen. So, like, from what they presented us today.
Yeah. So there is one more thing I want to talk about, and then we'll have any closing thoughts. Dead Ops Arcade 3 has been announced. It was shown on the Treyarch's Twitter.
Yeah.
All you see is an island with the number 3 on it. So for any, Dead Ops Arcade players out there, this is great news. I personally love Dead Ops Arcade. It's super hard. Like, it's fun and it's like goofy to like play with friends, but like actually trying to get to the end is very difficult.
Yeah, I've
So
never done it.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see them bring it up again, and it kind of brings back the theme of this entire thing, how Edgar kind of started it off. More ways to play.
Yeah.
So with that, do you guys have anything you guys wanted to talk about that maybe we kind of jumped over, or any final thoughts before we close it out?
I did think it was kind of interesting how they're bringing these 2 new perks that are shown. One of them, it looks like a skull with, it looked like 2 guitars next to it.
That's Deadshot Daiquiri.
That's Deadshot. Interesting.
That is Deadshot Daiquiri, and I'm really interested because it was some leaks that just had said that it was just a tweet that said don't expect all these perks to work the same.
Yeah.
So I think in a way them giving them a new look is also going to be represented by maybe them having other features or working a different way. So I'm hoping that by making Deadshot Daiquiri look cooler, it is better,
Yeah.
overall.
Because they also changed Speed Cola, what I saw.
Yes, and I love the idea that they're moving to cans, so there's no longer bottles. So now we're gonna be using cans.
Interesting.
Easier to make if you're making anything for your zombie collection.
Are they finally gonna release official drinks?
That would be cool. I would it's so dumb, but I would give them my money.
Yeah. They should partner with Coca-Cola and make Juggernaut drinks.
They have the partnership with Mountain Dew. Just pull up some
Speed Cola?
some Speed Cola with the flowers.
Yeah.
I would tell them to take my money. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No questions asked. Maybe like the last thing that we should really be talking about is the fact that they're gonna have free expansions for the first.
Oh yeah, we didn't.
That is
discuss
something
that.
very important that I feel like it will really. If all the other stuff that we've been talking about is gonna expand the community, the fact that there's finally gonna be free expansions across, I
Yeah.
feel like that is the step to go.
Yeah, that's definitely good thing you brought it up because that is
Free maps.
free
And-
maps,
With crossplay.
which also means that, and I feel, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I feel like people are going to also be only slightly less critical of the maps.
Yeah.
Because now they're free, So
Yeah.
now you don't get that extra burn. Like if the map is bad, you're gonna be like, oh, this kind of sucks, but I'll enjoy it. But if you paid money, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. you have expectations. You have higher expectations.
Yeah, so I think on the community side, I'm glad that I'm so happy that Modern Warfare they had plans to make zombies. I'm so glad they didn't. I think the community needed the break
Yeah.
to kind of lower its not expectations, but it's like hatred.
Or its demands.
And
It's
it all-
demands.
yeah.
It's
It also kind of sucks because whenever you load up a new Black Ops game, like it asks you to get the season pass to play a map. And you know
yeah.
how many people get left out? They don't get to play that map because not everyone buys the season pass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like when Chronicles
I
came
agree.
out, it felt rough leaving our buddies behind to go
It
play.
felt rough, but man, it was a good map pack.
It was.
I would
I
spend
wouldn't be
money
opposed.
again. I wouldn't be opposed to
Similar.
them making Chronicles paid and then all the other maps free. I would not oppose it in the slightest.
Yeah. But I'm
Um,
talking about like the 5 remastered, the Giant, you know?
yeah,
Like
yeah, I get
it,
you.
it kind of did suck for those people who didn't have the season pass. They weren't able to play those maps on launch.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is now going to have everything available to everyone from day one, no matter how much you spend on the game.
And I'm
Yeah.
gonna finally be able to play with you guys across platform. Like I'm gonna
Yeah,
be able to
that's-
enjoy it with a controller instead of keyboard and mouse.
Or you can just
Like,
connect the
yes,
controller.
It's not
You
the
can just
same.
connect the
not the
controller.
same. It's not
It is. It's better probably. Okay. Regardless.
Okay.
So with the like kind of what you brought up, the inclusivity. Yeah, we're gonna have for the first time cross-platform, from my understanding, cross-generation gaming for this zombie experience and for all of Cold War. So
Yeah.
that's great.
It's gonna be exciting to see all these people get into it, and like
Definitely.
we're
Yeah.
probably gonna see a lot of these YouTube channels explode. A lot of the zombie focus YouTube channels.
Yeah, and
The amount of people.
I think this is gonna be a good way to kind of see what Treyarch and Raven Studios can do together, because now like the amount of support studios they had and the amount of people they had for this project was, it was huge, right? There's a lot more people working on it, so I feel like if this is really good, then we can kind of see that zombies got the attention that it deserved,
Like,
right?
maybe we can see like the foundations for the future of zombies across this new generation.
Exactly.
Maybe it ends up becoming something that gets carry on, like how Warzone is going to be carry on.
Yeah, definitely.
But only time can tell on that regard.
Yeah, it's gonna be a heck of a year of Call of Duty Zombies. So definitely stick around to our channel. We do live stream and stuff, so we're gonna be covering all of this as this progresses. We're gonna be Easter egg hunting. We're gonna be doing a bunch of stuff for this next Call of Duty. We've been kind of on the back burners, kind of going slow because there wasn't much, but now, ooh, full steam ahead, boys! Full steam ahead.
And new content.
New content. All right. Well, like I said, definitely check out our channel. Hit subscribe if you kind of want more talks like this. If you want to kind of see us play, we have a variety of different players on our esports team. And definitely leave down in the comments if you agree with some of our topics, disagree, anything that might be. We'll do our best to respond and make sure we kind of have those talks.
Yeah.
So from all of us here, have a good rest of your day, night, whatever it may be.